Alright, back to talking about Doctor Who, Earthshock, and Peter Davison. Talking about what happens in Earthshock. The cyber leader asks, "Such a reaction is not a disadvantage?" So in the end of the last video, it's just retelling how the Cybermen were saying that friendship is a weakness, and they threatened Tegan, the Doctor's companion, and the Doctor says no, and he steps in front of Tegan to defend her, and so that's what this response is. That's why the cyber leader says, "Such a reaction is not a disadvantage to defend your friends when they are being threatened." The Doctor says no. The cyber leader says, "You are mistaken. I now have control over you, Doctor. All I need do is threaten the woman's death for you to obey me." Yep. That's true. The cyber leader leaves, taking the Doctor and Tegan to the TARDIS. They force Adric to stay on the bridge with the captain and one of the crew. The Cybermen evacuate almost all of their forces. They leave two on the bridge with Adric and the crew member and the captain. The cyber leader, along with another Cyberman, enter the TARDIS with the Doctor and Tegan. Nyssa asks, "Where's Adric?" The Doctor says, "He's safe." Not really. I wouldn't call him safe. Tegan says, "For the time being." The lieutenant and his soldiers get to the bridge and shoot the two Cybermen. The freighter jumped a time warp, and the TARDIS follows. The freighter travels back in time. The captain says, "That's not possible." Adric says, "It is when an alien machine overrides your computer." Well, there you go. That explains it. The Doctor can't take the TARDIS onto the freighter because its coordinates are constantly changing. It keeps fading. He has nothing to lock onto. The lieutenant, his soldiers, the captain, and the crew member leave the freighter in an escape pod. Adric decides to stay on the bridge. To prevent the freighter from crashing into Earth. The Doctor realizes that the freighter traveled backwards in time 65 million years. The Doctor says the antimatter vessel will split on impact, creating a tremendous explosion. But the Earth is safe. So, not an Earth-destroying explosion. A big explosion, but not one that would destroy the Earth. A tremendous explosion that will not destroy the Earth, so the Earth is safe. Alright, the lieutenant communicates to the TARDIS that Adric is still on the freighter. The Doctor takes Adric's gold star. that he confiscated earlier. I believe it was when, so this happened earlier in Earthshock, uh, when Ringway had pulled his gun and taken charge of, he'd taken over the bridge. So he had his gun on the doctor and everyone else on the bridge. And the doctor was talking about how the Cybermen are allergic to gold, and then Adric must have realized that he has a star on his that that he wears that has gold on it. And then Ringway thought he looked suspicious, so he said, "What are you looking at there?" And then Ringway, I guess Ringway must have taken the star and put it on by the controls on the bridge, and then because Ringway realized that it had gold on it, so he was thinking that they were going to use it as a weapon against the Cybermen. Since Ringway was working with the Cybermen. And then later the Doctor, when no one else was looking, he pocketed the gold star of Adric. Alright. So he took this gold star at this point in Earthshock. He took the gold star, Adric's gold star, and he rubs it into the chest unit of the Cyber Leader. And the Cyber Leader gasps and groans. The Doctor takes the gun from the Cyber Leader and shoots him several times in the chest, killing him. So this is seems very un-Doctor-like, because the Doctor shouldn't be shooting people. At least, so specifically, there are certain Doctors who were certain versions of the Doctor in the show Doctor Who, where they specifically say they're against violence and they don't use guns. Apparently, Peter Davison's Doctor was not against violence and using guns. But going by the episodes, the stories that I've seen of the Doctors, the various Doctors in Doctor Who, I can't picture William Hartnell using a gun to kill a villain in Doctor Who. So I can't picture William Hartnell doing that, or Patrick Troughton, or I don't think John Pertwee ever used a gun. He liked using various vehicles, but I don't think I ever saw John Pertwee using a gun. Tom Baker, I don't recall him using a gun. I don't think so. Sylvester McCoy, yeah, he specifically said he was against violence in his version of the Doctor. But I think maybe Colin Baker, I think there was a moment with Colin Baker where he might have used violence. Not sure. There might have been a Revelation of the Daleks. One of the Daleks ones. Colin Baker. So it seems out of character for the Doctor to be using a gun. He's supposed to be using his mind, not guns. I think there is a moment with in the new version of Doctor Who, David Tennant, he uses an apple and he throws it at something, and then that makes the bad guy fall because they were high up above the surface of the Earth, and the bad guy fell. But I think, yeah, that was Tennant's first story, and he had already given the bad guy one chance, and then he said, no second chances. That's how his doctor was going to be. Yeah. But he didn't use a gun though. So it just does not seem right that the doctor should be using a gun. So I guess you can blame the writer for that. The writers, whenever they decide we're going to make the doctor violent. It doesn't happen very often in Doctor Who. Anyway. Okay. So the doctor used a gun and he put it right up against the cyber leader's chest unit, and he shot him several times. It just seems wrong. There must have been some other way. The writer could have thought of some other way of out of that situation. To have somebody else use the gun, just not the doctor. The lieutenant, if he was there, that would have been more appropriate. Okay, anyway. Adric is still working on the bridge of the freighter when a wounded Cyberman shoots and destroys the controls. And there was an observation made in one of the special features. It's kind of funny when after you've already seen it, but it looks like so Adric is pushing at the Adric is pushing at the controls to prevent the freighter from crashing into the Earth. So Adric is supposed to be really good at math, so really intelligent with I guess intelligent with computers too, apparently. But he's trying to figure out how to make the freighter not crash into the Earth. So he's kind of like tentative. Probably because, so the observation made in the special feature of Earthshock, I believe, was he's probably aware that there's going to be some sparks, a little explosion, a special effect, and he's probably wary of the sparks about to fly. So you can see he's kind of like worried about the explosion that's about to happen. All right. Then Nyssa kills the other Cyberman on the TARDIS. But that's okay. Nyssa can shoot people, just not the Doctor. The freighter explodes with Adric on it. No more Adric. Tegan and Nyssa are upset. And the Doctor is left speechless. And in the special features, I think it was Peter Davison who had commented on how it was supposed to be a dramatic scene, how they were supposed to be upset that Adric was just killed, but it was hard to not laugh just because it was they were not supposed to. It was an inappropriate time to be laughing because they were supposed to be upset about Adric being killed, but it was hard not to laugh because they were trying not to laugh. So it was difficult to try not to laugh because they were not supposed to be laughing. So that would have been very inappropriate timing on that. Okay, and then as the closing credits roll, there's no music playing. We see Adric's crushed golden star on the screen. So that was very different. I don't think there's any other times in Doctor Who where they just had silence for the credits. They always have the Doctor Who theme song playing. So this is very unusual or different. And there was some criticism in the special feature for Earthshock about that. That it was too, I guess, maybe they felt it was too sappy. That it was just silence on the credits. But someone said that it would have been inappropriate to have the Doctor Who theme song playing right after seeing Adric being killed, but I think it would have been fine. Yeah. It seems kind of... It's Doctor Who. You're supposed to play the theme song when the show ends. Alright, this is a long video. I guess I should stop.